Okay, welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gulmer and a podcast engineer here. And we're excited to bring you another episode of Conversations for All with Christian Mendez that we just started recently. Christian through another contact and so see his passion for his marketing and so on. And so that's part of the reason why I got this conversation for all started, as well as the podcasting for all network. This is now collaborating with World Ability, and so on. So with nothing further to do, and Christian here to kick us off today. Welcome, Christian.
Hey, thank you so much, Emily. Once again, appreciate you, appreciate everything that you do in front and behind the scenes. Thank you so much. I think that, again, we're having this conversation, we're having our guests, and we want to thank them. But we also understand that technology, I mean, who would have thought 10 years ago, well, you're going to be on your phone all the time? No, I'm not. You're going to have meetings on your phone? No, I'm not. 15 years ago, your phone's going to replace. Hey, who has a flashlight? Who has a flashlight? Nobody has a flashlight nowadays. You got a phone, alarm clocks, calendars. So we understand technology moves fast, super fast. We understand that, but we don't have to rush and do things. So the conversation for all, thank you again, Emily, as well as everybody else that's on here. This can only be, and this was only possible because of what you guys are already doing. So we want to make sure that we're very grateful and thankful for everything from EC Marketing, to make sure that we're excited to announce a new podcast network, Net Worth Conversation for All, joining the World of Ability Podcast Network, today's Disability Channel, and Project diehard.org. Make sure you guys tune in at Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific time for inspiring stories, expert advice, valuable insights. And we're going to open up the doors in regards to scams, ongoing scams that are affecting our community. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Technology can move fast, and people can try to, or technology can even move you at a faster pace if you allow it to. I think that in any scam, whether it's an online scam, an email scam, telephone scam, whatever the case may be, there's a bit of a rush, a bit of act now. And so if we understand that anybody that's wanting to help, needing help, or whatever the scenario is, we can stop, we can breathe, we can get back into control, and we can speak up. Speaking up, we have our wonderful Terrie Price, obviously off mute and definitely in on the conversation. Glad to have you once before and now being a little bit more. And I think this just goes exactly to what you not only speak about, but what you practice. Terrie Price, come on in, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Christian. I'm super excited to be here again and be back on the show again. So I appreciate that. I am a public speaking and communication coach. And public speaking is not just being on a big stage in front of 2,000 people. Each and every one of us use public speaking and communication skills every single day, no matter what business we are in. We communicate with our partners, with our business partners, our personal partners, our children, maybe teachers, coaches, clients, and having more effective, succinct, and confident abilities in communication will do nothing but help you. And another thing I'd like to point out is the opposite end of speaking is listening. And so enhancing both of those skills is really, really important to our own growth and success.
You know, this is something that thank you so much, and you brought a valid, yet basic, yet so hard to understand point. Valid, easy, yet hard to understand. That reminds me of one of the teachings from good old Neville, where he talks about some of these basic principles. And again, this is I invite each and every one of anybody that's listening to start looking into what the old Greek teachings and technology, philosophers. These things are not they're not new. This is something that has been taught thousands of years before, but yet we still have a hard time understanding it. So you brought up, in order to be a good speaker, we must be good listeners, and I think and again, I've made. For anybody that doesn't know, I've been in the industry since 2001, formally under a marketing company, selling Hollywood memorabilia over the phone, online. And so we started with VHS tapes. That's how long ago that goes back to. Going to that point, and what I'm saying and what you just mentioned is that speaking, as we're listening, a lot of the information, uh, making money, making transactions, making whatever, it has to come back to the value and the core of who I am. And what has changed now dramatically is I do a lot more listening, not just for my clients, but to myself. As you said, Terry, our partners, our family, our loved ones. And so it's crucial. And just with that same heart that we have for them, we want to protect them. And that's where these scams and these types of things that we're talking about today. And we'd like to discuss some of that. We kind of started touching base a little bit about what we were going to talk about today. And again, thanks for coming on back on and being the prime.
Christian, I can't, I think you froze up.
Christian, you're on mute.
Sorry, go ahead.
I
Sorry about that. Network
catch,
issues.
that's okay. I didn't catch what she said there. You kind of froze up for a little bit, but could you repeat the question?
What would be some of the common scams that you see right now in coaching, in the coaching industry or in the coaching world? What should people look out for in regards to when they're looking at hiring you for a coach? What's some of the results, or again, just kind of, this is your forte here. So let me allow you to speak.
Well, relative to scams, I think that as a coach personally, I offer a 100% money back guarantee. And so personally, within my business, if somebody is not happy with whatever service they've purchased from me, I really don't feel good about taking their money. I want to make it either right for them or just give their money back, because I mean, my goal in life is to help people. So if people don't feel like I've helped them, then I don't really feel right in taking their money. But as somebody who has purchased courses and coaching services from somebody online, I have indeed purchased from people that I maybe don't know or don't have a personal connection with, but I've only done so if there is a money back guarantee. So I think that is really important for us to see that on both sides, whether you're offering it or whether you're taking it. And to me, that would be a huge red flag if there's not a 100%, no questions asked money back guarantee. And I mean, I know some people are like, well, but I don't want somebody to come take all my information and then get all my information and want their money back. I mean, I don't know. I don't see that happening that much. And if I get scammed by one person in that way, I still feel good about offering that to my clients, because I want to create raving fans. I want people who are super excited and who refer me, which pretty much 90% of my business right now is referrals. So that's a good thing for me. And I think as coaches, maybe that's something we should strive for.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a great example, a great answer. And exactly what you just said is a money back guarantee also protects the consumer, but there's also some liability on your side to make sure. What I do, and before I introduce our next guest, we have contracts, we have different overviews, we have different terms of service. So that's where another protection, or another layer of protection. But even then, having to go through legal steps and things like that, it kind of gets a little bit abrupt and it kind of causes friction. So we also offer those, satisfaction guarantee. Because we want, like you, we feel like a customer, client, they want to be happy. They want to make sure that they're protected. But before we dive into what that really means and what that money back guarantee actually is going to mean, let's introduce Alan, my brother from another mother, Alan Holmes, Master Connector. Come on in, introduce yourself, and 30 seconds, go.
Alan, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Alan.
This is what happens when I don't finish the. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, they say take two, take two. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the conversation for all. I love this conversation. And like Christian was saying, as a master connector, community, the essence of business, I'm the master connector for building it. I've been using that probably for about 10, 12 years. Just want to be for complete transparency. That's a kind of a tagline or a title. I represent various different resources, but what I'd like to kind of emphasize is, as we're talking about scams and the elephant and the rhino in the room, I like to personally humanize the experience. Individual who does business with you, we're talking about money back guarantee and all that, they have to know, like, and trust you. So Alan Holmes, anybody knows I do not hide behind IP addresses. I am available on all various across social media. And it is just a privilege to have this type of conversation, because when you're wanting to have the coaching, the experience of marketing, you want to go to the experts like Terrie Price. You want to get the marketing through Christian. And so, yes, I'm here just to be of support as always through this incredible conversation. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And there, back to you, Emily, and the rest of the panel. We've got some great guests
Justin,
today.
take yourself mute. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you. And again, absolutely trust factor. And we're going to get into that right now. But let's introduce yourself, Mr. Justin.
Hello, everybody. My name is Justen McKay. I do quite a bit of things, but the base of everything I do is making people aware and helping individuals or businesses. And I tend to fall more on the financial side of things, just because my upbringing, I feel like I wasn't given the opportunity to learn much about financing and being a business owner. So that's what I do. It's something that I can actually affect and bring value to. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Fareed.
Hello, everyone. I am Fareed Rene, and what do? I serve people. And how I serve people is through my consulting, my business and my management consulting. I help small companies, I help startups, I help entrepreneurs. And then the other way I serve people is through my tutoring. I always believe that knowledge is just not for Terry or for Christian or for Alan or for Justin, but knowledge is for everyone. And I love to share knowledge, because that is how our world is going to become a better place. And the other thing is that, so I do that through education, right? Because at the end of the day, our students are our future business people. And what separates me from the other tutors and the other consultants is that I provide quality service, I provide timely service. I have roughly 20 years behind my name in the business and in management. And I have been tutoring since 2014. And I love to see people succeed and grow and do well in life. And because of that, that is how I separate myself. And just quickly, one of the things is that people do business with people who they like, who they trust.
There you go.
You can have
Trust.
the best product, you can have the best service, but if people don't like you, if they cannot trust you, you're not going to get any business. So the first thing you have to do is to create good client or student, a nice relationship. Get yourself out there. and you have to become that likable person. You have to be someone who is approachable and say, wow, I love Alan, or I love Terry, or I love Christian, or I love Justin. I want to meet them, and I want to do business with them. Thank you so much, Christian.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for again your insights. And as mentioned, Terry, what would you say your first reaction? I know we've had the privilege of networking online, actually in person more than online, you and ourselves. But what's the first thing that you because you may need some marketing or website services, right? So we're gonna make Terry critique Christian in regards
Oh,
to in regard to that's the beautiful part about it, and that's where we want to make sure that we're transparent here. Three things that just came to mind and as I'm listening, right? We got to listen. As I'm listening to what prospects, and really what we're talking about is listening. But what would you say would be a critique in regards to, because I always tell people in the networking, I'm not here to sell, I'm here to serve. And one of the things that I can do so many things, like there's really no end to the list. And I used to work construction, so there's really no end to a list, right? What would you say in regards to, if you were looking at my marketing services and you didn't know me, what would you look for? What hard questions would you ask me?
about your website
About me in
building and
general.
about
We're
you in
just
general.
networking. Yeah, we're just networking. And we're talking about marketing. And I say, yeah, you know what? I'm a marketing company. So what would be something that you would ask?
Well, first I want to know what kind of marketing, right? Marketing is a wide range. There's social media marketing, there's network marketing in person, there's website. So I would probably ask you some more questions to define more clearly what you mean by marketing. So that's probably what I'd ask you first. And then I would listen to your response to ask more questions. And that's really a great question, because it's something that a lot of people do. So 75% of people are scared of speaking. And so many times people will ask a question, and then while the person's giving the answer, they're formulating in their mind what they want to say next, instead of just listening and then allowing that silence to happen to be able to actually respond to what the person said.
That's absolutely a key point, is asking questions and not being afraid to be asked questions, and definitely opening up the questions. Raise your hand if you guys have a question, something that you would want to ask. If you're looking for a coach, what would be something that you would ask? If you're looking to speak, if you're looking to get better at speaking, what's something that you would want to ask Terry, or a coach in general, in perspective? So let's go to two things that were mentioned before I get to the third one, which is trust. And by asking a series of I always, and some people, so I think about, Terry, another hard question that you want to, like, when I mean critique, I want to dig in, because I don't dig in, but I am a little bit abrupt, because I know what to look for. So I'm confident in what I'm going to ask, and it doesn't, well, for my instance, it doesn't matter whether you're a coach, an entrepreneur, a student, a tutor, a teacher. It does not matter. I want to know your experience. I want to know what you want to do. And then I want to know why you want to do it. And so the first one is experiences. I want to be able to know that. Well, you and I, Terry, I'm going to represent you, and I have the hard part in this. No, absolutely not. I have the easy part. See, I always tell people I'm just a little mirror, and I hold up your unlimited. I hold up the unlimited you, because we talked about this when we first met, right? Your card, and I was already giving you just some tidbit examples and displaying some things that I thought would be good for your business.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we're going to put it in the chat. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You
You're
did.
off
And you
mute.
know what else? I would like to know, like, too, when I ask somebody what, not just what your experiences is, but what your successes have been.
Results.
Yeah,
Results.
results.
So we
What
talk about
results?
experience. We talk about results. That experience and the results is kind of taking you on a journey. It's allowing you to kind of know what I'm doing, and then the results, right? And so that's exactly it, the results. What I actually even ask, and sometimes I dig in, Emily, you're going to introduce yourself, and then Kurt, I don't think Kurt's going to be introducing himself, but I know you're kind of in between.
Yeah, before I say something though, I think Fareed has a question or comment though.
Yep, he's coming up next. Thank you.
So,
but-
go ahead.
But so everybody, I'm a virtual assistant, podcast assistant here in Wisconsin. So if anybody's looking to or needing virtual assistant help or to be on like this show or any of the other shows, please let me know. Thanks, Christian.
You got it. Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Emily. Again, when I tell you guys that that's the magic behind everything, I really mean it. And if it wasn't for strong, powerful women, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. We'll get into that conversation at another time, but definitely appreciate you, Emily, very much so. Fareed, yes, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, I would like to add a little bit. If someone asks me, why do I do this? Why do I do my consulting, or why do I do my tutoring? It's simple, because that's my passion. That is why I do it. That's my passion. That is what I love. And that is why I do what I do. Right? Now, having said that, I want to ask, this is a question that we need to ask people. And the question is that I can ask Terrie, I can ask Alan, I can ask Justen, I can ask.
No, ask me. You got
Emily,
to ask me. Yeah, you guys can all critique me. Have one critique question.
Yeah. There are other people, Christian, who do the same thing as you. My question to you is, why should Fareed, or why should Terrie, or Alan, or Justen, or Emily come to you and not go to someone else? What makes your business and you stand out from the crowd?
Thank you, Fareed. That's a great question. And I got to tell you, I normally, when I get the type of question like that right up front, we say there's so many people that do that. And I'll just tell you guys that, remember, in a reminder, my background is from sales. My background has been since the 90s in sales. So when I think quickly on my feet, and I'm just going to turn it around. And one of the things, yes, Anthony Robbins and the old training from the 80s and the 90s is what I actually grew up with. So a lot of the principles, a lot of the raving fans, I caught that, Terrie. I caught that, because that's exactly what it has been. And anybody that's around that, and I saw Fareed light up too, because he's heard it before. This is an industry type of thing. This is what helps me align with people, and this is why I have Justen, Alan, Emily, obviously Terrie, Fareed, we're getting to know, but this is why I have experienced folks on here. I have folks that we've already met, folks that we've had introductions with, folks that we've gotten some of the experience that you have, and then some of the results or some of the work that you're doing currently. Without that, I cannot sell you, and I'm not going to even promote you. That's why we say attendance is not an endorsement on Conversation for All. We want to make sure that you understand, hey, just as we're asking questions to protect our loved ones, and we also want them to be informed. With that being said, I want to make sure when I say critique me and things like that, I'm opening myself up. I'm opening up to vulnerability. I'm opening myself up for you to express yourself. Because the more I let you understand that I'm an open book, Fareed, there's nobody like me. There's nobody that does anything like me. There's nobody that does anything remotely, even significantly, almost like me. And so the fact of the matter is, why would you want to work with me? Stop. I see you trying to Venmo me some money already. Hold on, Fareed. Hold on. I'm going to let you work with me. I'm going to let you work with me. But you got to hold on. You got to hold on. See, that's the thing. It's not that you want me to work with you. Is that we align ourselves Terrie, come on in and say, what would you like to chime in regards to speaking? What are some of the things that I'm doing that you as a speaking coach would improve or see, or would say that's good that you're doing this, or you need to change this?
So one of the things that you do phenomenally well is you are so authentic. And authenticity is one of the number one things that we can be when we are with other people. Because people know when you're if you're not authentic, they can hopefully see through the filter. And one thing I would encourage you to maybe create is a super powerful story, because stories are what help us connect to other people. When we tell a story about what we do and why we do it, and I'm talking about a short story, like a 30-second, 1-minute story that allows you to tell your story. What took you, Farid, what was the thing that made you passionate about helping others through education? Or, Justen, what was the thing that made you, I mean, you said a little bit actually that you didn't get that. Whoa, that's really big. You probably have a phenomenal story there. So using that story to have a good hook and then tell your little story and then having a call to action and authentically telling it like you already do, Christian, tell your authentic story. I mean, that's so powerful in allowing you to connect with somebody else and allowing somebody else, maybe they haven't had the exact same experience as you, but generally in a story, another person's going to be able to relate to what it is that you said.
That's it right there. And we talked about Farid also mentioned in regards to people buy from people that they like. So we're going to throw in some marketing along with the coaching, and that's what this beautiful thing is about. And then obviously we're going to you're going to laugh, and this is very funny. As a matter of fact, Justen wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in marketing that well. Justen is going, wait, what? Justen wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in marketing that well. The reason I actually picked up Justen's invitation, he reached out on LinkedIn, and I said, man, that's a handsome looking dude. And then I looked at his profile. Hey, he's got some good things going on. Looked at some of the stuff that he had on there. So unfortunately, I know we all go by what is pleasing, what is comfortable, what we know. Farid started saying it, and you talked about experience. We talked about asking questions about results. But if those sensors, you can be the most experienced, and I tell you, I've got 50 years of experience, and I've got top 100% results that I can quantify and show you week after week, month after month, client after client. But you're going to do what I tell you, and if you don't do it my way, then there's no way we're going to continue. This is my program. This is just how it is. This is how it's going to be. There's no questions. There's no room for doubt. There's no... Wait, whoa, wait a minute. Where did the authentic, where did the open, we buy from people, ideas, visions, thoughts that we like, or something that we hate, that we want to improve about ourselves, right? That's where the coaches come in. Hey, I'm not that good at speaking. I'm actually a very shy person. I'm actually a very, very shy person. I know most folks don't understand or believe that. And that's okay. It's not for me to prove. It's just for me to just relay. But the one thing that I say, and I'm going back to the likability and things like that, is I actually opened it up because, and I told Justen in a joking manner, I said, boy, with those good looks, I was hoping you were related to Hakeem Jeffries. light eyes, good chin, you know, and he smiles. Now, let me say that, and again, you can chime in, Terry, in regards to, but these are the emotional things that you talked about when you tell a story, or when you're talking to somebody, or when you're having a discussion. That likability, that humor, that lightness. But I want to make sure that we understand it, that I don't cross lines, because as a brown man, goatee now, yes. Listen, my frustration, I started pulling out my hair, right? Oh! No, I've the cliches, and one of the things is what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing a polo. Normally, I wear a button up. I was always in a button up with a tie every day, and they said dress for success. Dress for your. I absolutely agree with that, because it does sell a lot of other things. But sticking to this topic, whether I'm in this, or I'm in a onesie, because I love my kids and I love joking around with them. I'll be in a costume. Sometimes I'll show up in, jeans and stuff like that. But the unfortunate part is that people see who we are, but sometimes we judge each other and that likability, and then we kind of get a little bit more to, well, I don't know if I'm going to do good with that person. And there's so much. We've already made up our minds about a good coach, about a good partner, about a good investment, or about a good business, or about a good client. Listen, she pays well, or he pays well, but he's just so needy, and he emails and messages and then asks, and so I tend to say, and I always slow down now, and want to make myself available. And what I mean make myself available is, I really want to make myself available to listen. And so I think that slowing down, showing each other a little bit more kindness, showing each other a little bit more support, and that goes for our everyday, in our everyday walks. Before we continue, let me make sure that we understand and highlight one of the big things that is always, and is near and dear to my heart, is definitely veteran suicide rate. I mean, men taking their lives is something just really close to my heart. It's something that is just truly, as you guys know, and if you don't, an average of 22 veterans take their lives each day. We're committed to changing that. Easy Marketing for All is committed to supporting organizations dedicated to veteran mental health, working together to raise awareness and provide resources for our World of Ability podcast network, Today's Disability channel, and each and every one of our underserved communities. We're only going to get better, and Fareed said about being able to impact and being a real beacon. That's how we become a beacon in regards to our passion, but always remembering that even though we're passionate, somebody else may not be. And so they may be passionate about something else, or they may just not be passionate at all, because they haven't searched right. And so when we're going, yeah, I'm the best, look at me, and this is what's going on, then they're going to be like, oh, no. Fareed's cool, but not for me. And so, Sean, thank you for joining us.
I just want to say hi and leave.
No worries. Thank you. And Mark popped in and popped out. We got some guests. I actually, just to let you guys know, we got some wonderful artists that are going to be coming in. I got a local artist that's going to be donating to Project Die Hard. So we're going to be having an auction for an art piece. Once the details are more available, we will send them out to each and every one of you. I also have, won't say because he's not here yet, but let's just say that a veteran filmmaker, who has already been working, he's published and all of that wonderful stuff. He has been mentioned about the podcast. And if you guys remember our friend Lori Lemson from jazzymaymedia.com, wonderful producer, scriptwriter. She's worked with this veteran association of filmmakers, and they're the ones behind Turning Steel, that docu film that went to series now. So very excited about that. And again, that's just, where the heart and where our mission is, to make sure that we uplift and support one another. And sometimes it's not about a transaction, but we do want to make sure that we keep our vulnerable communities informed and aware of some of the ongoing things. So going back to Terrie, thanks again. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming in. I know you worked out something in regards to one thing that you believe would help anyone.
Relative to public speaking advice, to communicating better. One thing, I think, because so many people are afraid of speaking, and we get afraid of public speaking or communicating, or maybe being authentic or sharing a story, because mentally we create a story about maybe a past experience that we've had that has not gone so well. So we tell ourselves about that, and because we tell ourselves a negative story, we get really nervous. Our body actually has a physical reaction of nervousness to speaking. So one of the things that you can do to calm your nerves, now I have about 10 you can do. And some of them are like shaking, right? If you walk into a room and you're going to speak to somebody, you don't want to shake, right? You want to have a toolbox of things you could pull from. I mean, maybe you can do the shaking thing, because when you shake your body, you kind of let all that nervous energy out. So you're not going to do that in front of a room full of people who are, they're going to think you're crazy. But what you could do is maybe some breathing exercises, or even like before you go into the room, right? Some breathing exercises are really easy to do, and they help focus your mind. So can I entertain you to do a breathing exercise with me? Okay, so in just a second, then what I'm going to have you do is something called a box breath. So we're going to inhale for a count, hold for a count, exhale for a count, and hold for a count. And we're going to do a few renditions of that. So I'm going to ask you, if you want to, just close your eyes. And then we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Do it by yourself, count in your head. Okay, and then go ahead and open your eyes. So why does that help you? First, it regulates your breath. So when you get nervous, you get that shortness of breath and everything kind of sticks in your throat and you have butterflies in your tummy, and that regulated breath helps to calm you. The counting actually helps your mind to focus on something other than your nerves. So that regulated counting and breath, and you have to maybe do it 8-10 times before you're going to walk into a situation where you might be nervous, and it just gives you that advantage of sort of calming your nerves. So that's something that anybody can use anytime they're walking into a situation where they're going to feel a little nervous.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Justen, you've been kind of quiet this time around, but I know that we talked about, and I am hoping you got a little bit of an intro ready, because I wanted to talk about, as we're talking about with Terrie, and some things that cause anxiety. You know what causes anxiety is when I look at some funds, or things that certain accounts or certain things, and so having a lack of how you say money management, or even money educating, I think that can cause anxiety for anyone if we don't, again, know what we don't know what we don't know, right, Alan? So to speak a little bit about that, I want to wrap up what Terrie just did, and just make sure that we explain it. And I know how to box breathing, because that's one of the things that I have done, and that's how I've improved myself, which is breathing and meditating. Breathing and just breathing overall. I mean, people know when you get an anxiety attack, they give you a paper bag so that you can breathe, and they try to walk you through it. But I think that that is priceless, Terry, in regards to being able to and doing it outside of an anxiety moment will allow you to practice to get better and practice to get to where it's easier for you. Just like anything else, practice makes better. Practice may not make perfect, but practice definitely gets better. With that
Yeah,
being
and
said,
actually, that's
yeah.
true with communicating too. You know, the more you communicate and you notice how you say or how you listen, the better you're going to get when you're just more aware of how you how you output and how you input.
Well,
A
and there
really
you
good
go. You
point.
just said it. You hit that gold word, aware, aware.
Yeah.
And as we're slowing down and we're breathing, we're becoming aware of what it is.
You froze on us, Christian.
On funds, funding, and money educating.
Hey, Christian, you froze on us for about 30 seconds there, so nobody heard what you.
Oh, I was saying that, and I have you coming in because we want to explore some of the funding or funding scams, or
Yeah.
some of the scams that you've kind of already been aware of. And you said that Terry not is in online. It's free, maybe.
We can't hear you, Christian. You're kind of cutting out on us.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. You froze on us again. But just let me know if you want me to talk about SIP funding, or I think that's where he's going.
I think it was maybe funding scams that you've
Yeah.
seen or that he was saying something about.
Yeah. So
The banking.
I'll take it, Christian, while your internet gets fixed. Yeah, so I love what all you guys have said, and you know, like Terry mentioned, I think that starting with your why that's what makes me work with people, is their whys. Because I definitely believe in what Fareed said. There's so many people that do the same things that I do, and a lot of people that I work with, um, I choose the people I work with because of their why. And something I learned at an early age is that I just don't fit with everybody, and I'm not going to try to fit with everybody. Um, but I do what I do because I came from an area where we only really had three options. It seemed like, be a rapper, be a drug dealer, or make it to sports. And that's very slim pickings. That's very slim pickings. I went the sports route, and I was pretty decent, but then I got injured, when I was young.
Mhm.
So my why and why I do what I do and why I service people and why I'm more focused on financials is because where I'm from, I don't think we didn't have the education, the tutoring, and all that good stuff. So when it comes to um, the thing that I'm prioritizing right now is payment processing, which is I tend to get in mundane industries. I get into boring industries because I feel a big need in those industries. Like if I was to talk about payment processing, most people have no idea what all goes into payment processing. But I go into those industries because um, there's a lot of hidden fees, high transaction fees. You're paying money you shouldn't be paying. And I always look back in my community and, for a young startup or a young person, or even someone that's been in business for years, if you're getting hit with these hidden fees that you don't even know about, I just don't think is right. So, you know, my whole goal is to make people aware. And I was telling Christian this, I actually don't mind or care if I show somebody my services and they don't go with me. All I want to do is make them aware. Hey, I just want to make you aware because of this, that, or whatever. Because when I was growing up, I wasn't aware I could be an entrepreneur. I just wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that I could be an artist. I loved art as a kid, loved it. I just wasn't aware. It was a shut door. So my whole goal is make people aware. Now, if you go with my services, great, you know. Um, and if I find some other pain point in your life, I need to have people that I could say, oh, you're nervous about public speaking, but you got to get up in front of 30 people. What's your solution? "Oh, I don't really have a solution." Well, let me guide you to Terrie, you know, or if somebody, and I have a lot of business consultants that are referral partners, you know, because when a founder of a company or owner of a company is engrossed in their company, maybe they don't have a handle on their sales team. Maybe they don't have a handle on their software, you know? And that's where I could say, hey, I see some pain points here. I can't really service you, but I have a guy for Reed. He's a business consultant. I mean, he's great. He does tutoring, you know, and with my people that I service, the most important part that I've seen is people. That's it. So when I lend when I lend a referral partner, they trust me because I serve them. So then when I say, you know, Fareed doesn't have to come in and try to get this trust because they're using the trust in me and they're passing on to Fareed. And where I'm from, that's a big deal. You know, unfortunately, I'm from an area where there's not a lot of trust outside of my people. You know, I come from an area where we didn't call the police because we didn't trust them, and that leads to so much bad. You know, it just leads to so much bad. So trust is a big deal for me. Making people aware is a big deal for me. Um, and just to leave it off with this, just because I'm more focused on payment processing at the moment, but I do private money lending. I teach people how to retire. I teach people how to save money on taxes and grow their money tax free. But with payment processing, why I'm focused on it so much is because I'm dealing a lot with business owners now, and it's very simple. Um, but we just don't know it's simple. So when you're a business owner and you go with your bank as your payment processor, your banks use third parties. They're not payment processors. So you have the merchant, or you know, you have the customer that's paying for your services, consulting, coaching. You have the clients paying, and then the money goes through payment processing, and there's all these other people taking your money that shouldn't be, right? So where I come in, and the need that I see is that let's just go directly, let's partner directly with payment processors. I don't need a bank. I don't need a third party. I don't need you, and I don't need you. I just need a payment processor, right? Um, and when we're talking about scams, I won't say scam, right? But banks get away with a lot of stuff, and we just kind of take it. You know, we just take it. You know, it's fine. It's a bank. We got to go through them, but it's really not the case. It's really
So
not.
you're saying, and this is where I was trying to intro you without having internet problems. I apologize. As we all know, we're victims of the internet. And whether we like it or not, we all utilize the internet. And so sometimes when we have hiccups and problems, messages get miscommunicated. My intro earlier was exactly that. What you're saying is, I want to talk about, and we're going to leave this on the one of the biggest scams we've bought into, and we get a little pen, we get a checkbook from them, a little plastic card, and even a code for it, right? we talked about how we were going to present this whole banking and the banking industry, because it's not really a scam, or is it? So we're going to go ahead and make sure we follow up, because we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be opening up a little bit more of educational on what you can do to inform yourself, what type of information is out there, what kind of questions you want to ask when you're looking for funding, or when you're looking for a payment processing partner, or when you're reaching out to Justen and you're asking him, hey, Justen, I need a payment processor, or hey, I need more information about funding, or I need more information about this. So we're going to be doing that, and Justen's going to be taking the prime seat next week. We'd love to have him here today as well as next week, and anybody else that joins us. But that is something that we're definitely wanting to change and wanting to impact. I think, Terrie, you bank, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Alan, you bank. Fareed, Emily, you guys bank?
Yes,
Would you
sir.
like to know
Yes,
a
sir.
better way? Justen
I
said
would.
there's a better way.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
thanks again. Appreciate every one of you. We're going to go ahead and say our 30-second buys, and we're going to start it off with our main speaker. Once again, thank you so much, Terrie. We greatly appreciate you. I know that you were here already last week. You're here again today, but wonderful speaker, coach, personal development, public speaking, and the information about you and where they can find you.
Thank you so much. So my company is unlimitedyouinc.com. I did put it in the chat. I put a link to, if people want to sign up for my newsletter, it has just communication tips. It would be great to connect on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. And then just remember, you guys, the links will be populated, and then our wonderful assistant, Emily, will be sending those out, as well as an email correspondence, so that we can go ahead and promote it out to our networks. As we're wrapping up, and the next person is going to be Alan to reintroduce himself. Take this chance to go on LinkedIn. Take this chance to take a look at the LinkedIn Project Die Hard page. Like, share, and follow. And we're going to have a little invite from EC Marketing as we're ramping up our collaboration. Mr. Alan Holmes is going to be taking over our LinkedIn, and he's going to be helping out with some of the LinkedIn content that we're going to be promoting on there. And go ahead, Alan.
Well, as always, Christian, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of the amazing panel with Miss Terrie Price and Justen there. And of course, Fareed, welcome to the family. You know, I love to being a student, and as Terrie and Justen both alluded to, be an active listener. Community is the essence of business, and I'm the master connector for building it. FamilyShieldPro.com is a little bit about how you can get a hold of myself, and then I am definitely a master connector to be able to showcase your resources for those listening around the world to know, like, and trust, and just being part of a family. Thank you so much, Christian. What a great day, what a great panel for showcasing some great information. Back to you, sir. Emily, Kurt,
Justen.
thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invite, and I just put my LinkedIn in there. That's the best way to get in touch with me, and I'll just leave it with you know, I could do a lot of things, but I'm definitely a connector. So if there's a problem, you know, I probably have somebody to help with, and obviously I do a lot of the financing and money stuff, but you know, I got all kinds of people. I just want to be of service. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Fareed.
Christian, Alan, thank you so much for the invitation. It was great meeting you all. Terrie, Justen, was a pleasure meeting you all. Let's join hands.
Yeah.
And let's connect. Let's see how best we can
Emily.
help each other out.
So yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. You can get a hold of me on LinkedIn as well. And again, we are here every Friday at 3 o'clock Central. And I'd love to have all of you back on as guests for this show or any of the other shows. And And also please check out all of our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And to also check out our some partners that we're working with, like the Disability Channel, Earl Williams, Zach Clayton, Marcus Hart, and so on. So yes, until next time, to have a safe and productive week and stay happy.